Good morning, YouTube. Please give me a moment as I go live on Facebook as well. Be starting in just a second. Good morning, Facebook. How's it going? Welcome to our weekly videos. I am Sami Abusad, Director of Education at T3 Live. As always, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be talking about the market. We're also going to be talking about the swing ideas for next week. But before I get started, if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button. Also below the video, you will see some helpful links if you'd like to check them out later. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll start off by looking at the market. The Qs is in a grindy uptrend. Never ever bet on this uptrend to fail. What I mean by that is it's not that it never fails, though it really doesn't fail easily. Never try to predict the top when the market is just in a grind up. Okay, if it starts to accelerate, what does accelerate mean? Accelerate means that we start to print big green bars, multiple green bars in a row. Did we have any acceleration back here? That day we accelerated, but it was just one day. So it's set up a short-term top. Notice here, two big green bars in a row, and then we topped out. But while the market is grinding up, it just almost never tops. It just keeps going. See it? You don't have to believe me. You can verify for yourself. Look at this. Did it ever top? Nope. When it accelerates a little bit, starts to print the wide range bars, that's when it usually tops out, or at least it puts in a short-term top. On the way down, exactly the same thing. On the way down, it bottomed here when it started to go vertical, when it started to go in a waterfall, right? In a free fall, like a waterfall, right? Here, while it was grinding down, small bars, didn't bottom, right? So that's what we have at the moment in the Qs. We just have a really strong grindy uptrend. We don't have a momentum market, right? That's not a momentum market. But for now, the market remains all out bullish. Just like I've been saying for the last, how many weeks in a row now? I don't know how many weeks in a row. I do these videos every weekend, so you can go back and see for yourself, okay? SPY looks the same. This was the Nasdaq. Here's the S&P 500, right? The tracking ETF for it. Basically the same thing. In fact, the SPY is showing a little bit of relative strength as the financials are starting to see an inflow of money come into the financials. The financials were actually lagging behind, and now they're starting to move. That's the weekly time frame. Here's the monthly, starting to move up. Before that, we were lagging. They were lagging the SMH, which is the semiconductors industry. Semis are at all-time highs, obviously. Actually, the semis on the daily chart are starting to show some, because we had the run-up. See this? When you have the run-up, that's when you get the pullback. But without a strong run-up, you don't get a pullback. You don't get a top. Does that make sense? So the semis are starting to show a little bit of a top. I'm going to also be talking about gold, but I'll talk about it in a separate video. I have an important pattern setting up on gold long term on the monthly chart. I'll go over that in a separate video. I'll also go over Bitcoin in a separate video. So be sure to tune in the next, to stay tuned in the next 20-30 minutes. But for now, let's do what we always do, which is go over some swing ideas for Monday morning. For Monday, actually. Some of them will be ready to go by Monday morning. I have 4 plays posted for strategic swing trader members. If you're a member, a lot of you are, you can log on to your account and check them out. They're already posted for you. If you would rather not, then wait for the email on Monday morning at 8 a.m. You'll have it in your inbox with the plays that I am planning to take. By the way, nice job on the LK if you took it. Got to target yesterday. Hit right to target too, actually. 25 bucks. It went to 25.12, but 25 was the target. Still looks higher, by the way, but I'm out. Very nice play on LK if you took. All right, before I go over the ideas for Monday, I just need to show you this disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky, and especially if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're trading in a random fashion, it would never work out. Just telling you from now. If you're trading randomly, you don't have a set methodology that you're trading, a specific methodology with its own guidelines, rules, and specific entry, stop, target, management, specific strategy that you trade, it'll be very hard to make it. But I also want to say that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. All right. So we'll start off. This list is sorted alphabetically. Start off with the CNC, and as you can see, it's doing a transitionary buy setup. The only issue with the CNC, it looks beautiful. Only issue is there are actually two issues. First being that we have a big stop, because the entry for this is over the red bar's high. Okay. The stop is under the red bar's low. Well, that's a big stop. That's almost $2. I think, let me just take a look. Yeah, it's just shy of $2. All right. That's the first problem. The second problem is we have multiple resistance levels above. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. But having said that, I do think the CNC is setting up as a long-term bottom on the monthly chart. Deep pullback, and it tried to go lower here, it's turning into a doji bar. So I'm thinking if it takes it out, we're probably going to go back up to $70. Not right away, but eventually. It's like the UHS buy setup, which got to target and gapped up 15% yesterday, or 10% yesterday. It closed 10% up on the day. Buy setup, which we played, and then really nice move, and gapped up on earnings yesterday. Okay. All right. Next on the list is ELY, breakout on the daily. Monthly, I think, was a buy. Yes, is a buy setup, and weekly is a breakout. So it looks good all around on every time frame, daily, weekly, and monthly. FE is the utility stock. Doesn't move very much, but it's got a breakout on the daily chart. A breakout pattern setting up on the daily. Over the base, stop under it. People ask me all the time, what's the target for this? If it's at all-time highs, I guess it's not. Really, the target is the prior pivot high, the prior resistance. But if it's at all-time highs, there's no target. Does that make sense? No target. But in this case, there is a target, and it's a pretty big one, up here at 46.7 or so. All right? On the FE. IRBT was a great short a couple of days ago as an earnings play. If you're not taking advantage of earnings season, you're not taking advantage of the earnings plays, I'm sorry to say, then you're wasting your time, because right now that's when you can make the big money. I'm not saying that I make well, what day was this? On the 24th, right? Take a look. I'm not saying I make this kind of money every day. That's the 24th. IRBT, $4,700. Top, $4,600. I'm not saying I make this kind of money every day, but during earnings season, that's what's available. And if you're not taking advantage, it's a shame, honestly. And if you want to learn how to play these earnings plays and tag along, take my own plays, check out I think the second link in the description of the video. So you can take the class for $95. Teaches you how to pick the winners. And I'm not just showing you this because it was a big day. I mean, I had an even better day yesterday. Okay, a better day in terms of the two accounts. Here's one account, 11,000, right? And that's just yesterday, 726. And here's my IRA account. It's actually not an IRA account, it's just a long-term account, but I just call it my IRA. But it's a long-term account that I never withdraw money from. See it? 7 and 11. So that's 18. But again, that's only available to me during earnings season, so I try to take advantage of it. Okay? Highly recommend that you do too. Members of the Strategic Swing Trader are, reaping the benefits of being a member. So I highly recommend that you check it out as well. It costs $95 to learn the methodology, basically. IRBT, while it was a great short, now has a swing pattern setting up as a breakout over the base, stop under it, with a target up here, or the declining 20 MA, whichever comes first. The resistance or the declining will come first. So that will be the target on the IRBT. KHC is a breakout on the daily and a breakout on the weekly. Looks good. Looks like it bottomed. I shorted it. This was a very nice short. Official play in the SST newsletter as a short right here. Covered it. I didn't flip it though because there was no way to tell that it was the bottom. But it looks like it was the bottom. You know, looking back at the weekly chart, this is something I say all the time, which is if the initial climactic move doesn't generate a bounce, the second one usually does. And I call this play the second time around. So again, if the first one doesn't generate a move up, a retracement, then the second one usually does. And it did. I didn't take advantage of it though, because at the time, it didn't even occur to me to play it long. That's the thing, is that you have to actually be proactive and thinking in advance about how, what you're going to do in advance. So in this case, I wasn't really thinking to play it long. I had just shorted the stock. That makes sense? At any rate, KHC looks higher. It looks like it bottomed, and next target areas are way up there, at least. If not, honestly, up here. That's the real resistance on the KHC. Now, am I predicting that it will get there in the next 2-3 days or even 2 to 3 weeks? No, I'm not. But in the next few months, sure, it can. Does that make sense? So I like it as a long-term play. OPK is very, very, very weak. I don't normally play these, but it is setting up just as a swing over the base and then target up here. Just as a swing, not a long-term hold like the KHC or the CNC or the ELY. But this would be just for a few days. Okay? And as soon as it takes out the prior bar's low, then I'd be out. Like here, you see this? 2 days, took out the prior bar's low, out. So the same here. If it pops 2 days, 2 bars, I start going bar by bar as a trail. Stitch fix is probably premature, but it's a anticipatory weekly buy setup on the stitch fix. SFIX over 28.23 by 26.26. So it's a $2 stop. Target 1 up here, target 2 probably around 37 or so on SFIX. So those are some long ideas for Monday. Here's some short ideas. First, we'll start off with the oil stocks. They all have 1, 2, 3 setups. I'm going to talk about the 1, 2, 3 pattern in a few minutes when I talk about gold, GLD. But it's a 1, 2, 3 pattern short. So the entry for this would be under 24.70. Stop would be over 25.37. D now is a sell setup, actually. It's not a 1, 2, 3. So short right here, stop above the highs. Or if you think it's, if you want to play it as a 1, 2, 3, then you can put the stop over 12.74. Okay? With an entry under 12.39. On the D now, LBRT is better because it's got a green bar. The negation of a green bar is always bearish. So the entry for this would be under the green bar's low, stop above it. It's actually much better. I like the LBRT better. To tell you the truth, it's not one of the 4 ideas that I posted for SST members because we already have the SM short and it's an oil stock. And it looks the best. It's the weakest. So we already have that short. So I wasn't thinking about putting on another oil stock, but now that I'm looking at the LBRT, let's take a look at it. It looks pretty good. So I like the LBRT. All right, and then TEL is the same. Is a breakdown plus a 1, 2, 3. Looks good too, right? So those are some oil stocks. The rest of them are non-oil related. CBay as a short under the base. Stop above it. This is like we have an open play called, I think the symbol is BCRX. Yes, it is. It's the same. It's a breakdown under the base and it's just grinding lower. So CBay, if it breaks on, and they're both low priced also, but I don't care about the price of stock. All I care about is the pattern and the reward to risk, right? And the liquidity and all of that stuff. But I don't care about the absolute number here. It doesn't matter to me. As long as the stock is liquid, it has a pattern, it has enough room to make us enough money, then I call it $6 stock or $600 stock. I don't care. Short, stop above the base. Okay. On the CBay, LTHM is not oil, but it does have a 1, 2, 3 also. The issue with the LTHM is if you enter here, then you have the support below. But I think it'll for sure break through it. I mean, so I would still enter here. I was going to say, we like to have a void. In this case, we don't have a void because we have support to the left, but it should break through it and then stop right here. Okay, entry right here. Now you might say, well, can you give me the numbers? I can, but it's also, if you're gonna play some of these, just go check the number, go check the lows and the highs. So the entry for this would be under either 648 or 642, whichever one you want. 648, 642 would be more secure, but bigger stop. Stop for this is over 677, so at 678. Does that make sense? So that's the LTHM. MNK is already an open position. Gorgeous breakdown. See it right here? Short, and it's already moving nicely, and then another pattern setting up right here. Short, MNK. Got it? So I like the MNK a lot. MRK is a sell setup. It looks great, but it's got a big stop. Short, guess where the stop goes? Way up here. So that's a big stop. The bigger the stop, the smaller the reward to risk, right? And the smaller the share size, because the share size depends on the size of the stop. Does that make sense? So share size, the formula for it is share size equals the risk amount divided by the size of the stop. The size of the stop is the difference between your entry and your stop price. Your entry price and then your stop price. Does that make sense? So the bigger your stop, the less shares you can have. But this has a beautiful sell setup to here. So it's about 1-to-1 reward to risk. PTC 1, 2, 3. Amazing. This was a 4.5 hour play in the strategic day trader room a couple days ago on Thursday. It was a beautiful play, short out of the gate at the open, and now has a beautiful 1, 2, 3 short. Entry would be under 72.56, stop 74.57. Exactly $2.01, right? And you have to put the entry at least 1 penny below and 1 penny above the stop. So 1 penny below 72.56. I would put it at 72.49. Just give it a few cents, and then the stop at 74.61. Okay, that's what I would do. SLP doesn't have an entry yet. I mean, it does, but I don't play it off the daily when it's a climactic. I usually play it off the hourly, and the hourly doesn't look good, but it's a climactic sell setup. Definitely starting to accelerate. I mean, already accelerate. Look at how far away it is from the 20 MA. So I like it, but the hourly doesn't look good yet, so I'm just watching for now. TRN was a 1, 2, 3. Same as the top, exactly. Same as PTC. Top is just a breakdown, kind of. Under the base, stop above it. Top was also an earnings play. Gorgeous. Earnings play short. From the 24th. Let me see. Yeah, the 24th. Top. Biggest? No, almost the biggest. IRBT and top were the same. That's 24th. Okay, so I trust you enjoyed I hope you enjoyed today's video and the ideas here that I shared with you. I am planning on playing 4. I may add a 5th right now because I do like that LBRT, but what I have to do is put in the entry and the stop in the spreadsheet and then the target and see what kind of reward to risk. So I may actually end up taking 5 plays. Not all of the plays usually trigger, so I've posted 4. Maybe 2 of them will trigger. 2 long, 2 short, by the way. Maybe, sometimes all of them trigger, but usually not all of them trigger, so I don't know how many plays I'll end up with, but I've posted 4. I'm gonna revisit the LBRT. LBRT. I like the bearish list more than the bullish list, to be honest with you. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take advantage. It's earnings season. Join the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter. If you just want to play earnings, you don't even have to join the newsletter. You can just take the earnings engine class, which teaches you how to pick which companies to jump in before they report earnings. How to pick the earnings announcements, basically. So that teaches you everything, and it's only $95. So take that. You don't even have to join the newsletter, which is a bit more expensive. But I hope you're doing well in your trading and personal life as well. I will talk to you next week, or if you're interested in watching my next 2 videos on Bitcoin and gold, then I'll speak to you in the next. I'll just talk to you in the next few minutes. Thanks so much again for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.